Let's welcome back to MidPoint and also welcome in former Republican congressional candidate, member of the Texas Tea Party Caucus Advisory Board, Katrina Pierson joins us today. Katrina, thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be with you.
Katrina, a couple minutes ago, Michael Bronstein, Democratic strategist, said that the Tea Party is widely unpopular with America. I have this odd feeling that you would want to counter that and you would have something to say in retort.
Well, I do. And, the brand of the Tea Party has been, piled upon Democrats and Republicans. And that's why the name brand is so poor today. But moving forward, we have people like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz who can go out there and articulate principles and policies of the Tea Party movement, not that projected by Democrats or the media. So I think that we're going to get into a really interesting situation because this last election cycle proved the two-party system is very vulnerable. People are tired of the same old people saying the same old things, and they want new, fresh, bold ideas. America needs leadership.
Okay, but let's get down to the leadership now and what's going on in the party itself between the Republicans, the hardcore Republicans, and the Tea Party. Let's be fair here. There's a lot of infighting going on. The hardcore Republicans are fighting back, and it's still the Tea Party. Many people who are in there who are saying, we're going to do it my way or the highway. Come on now. Isn't that a recipe for disaster? And even though the Republicans are now going to be in complete control of Congress, they've got to learn how to get along or they're going to be looking at another major disaster come 2016. Isn't that fair?
Well, it's not really fair simply because it's not my way or the highway. Each individual is representing their constituency. So they are representing their constituency. There are some people who don't want Obamacare, and actually, I don't think there's anybody that's left that wants Obamacare. So I think it's fair to say those points are converging. With regards to the Republican establishment, who have not been governing as Republicans, you do have that section of Republicans now in the Tea Party movement, grassroots conservatives, who all are demanding that that leadership now fall in line to represent the party platform because they have not been doing that as of late.
But then what's going to happen if you have that hardcore Republican platform here, the old guys, if you will, the old guys and gals who are there and say, wait a minute, we've got to compromise. That's what has to happen. That's what governing is all about. But see, you're shaking your head and saying absolutely no. But okay, there's the point. If you have them sitting there and they're saying we need to compromise on certain things to get what we want down the road long term, and the Tea Party sits there and says absolutely not, we cannot compromise, we're going to hold fast here, that, don't you believe though that that's going to create another schism in the party and you're going to be right back to infighting again before you know it?
And that may be the case, but here's the thing. You're not supposed to compromise on principles. Granted, there are two ways to get to every position we want. You compromise along the way. But if ultimately compromise meaning giving up your principles, hurting the middle class, hurting the American public, there should never be a compromise to that.
But that's my way or the highway idea, though. And I hate to come back to it, but that's a my way or the highway line of thinking that we won't compromise.
Well, it's not
You'll do it our way or else.
It's not a my way or the highway.
Okay.
For example, the Obamacare situation. They said, oh, it's my way or the highway. Well, that was President Obama. Now we have amnesty. Are we going to defund it? Are we not going to defund it? The American public should be taken in consideration here. They don't like Obamacare and they don't support amnesty. So why is it that Republican establishment capitulate to the side of the governing forces of the emperor rather than representing the American people?
Even if it means you have, let's say, 5 things on the table and you need to, and again, I'm not saying that this is the way I want it, but if you've got 5 things on the table and you've got to get something done, you say, all right, look, we need to let 2 of these slide by until later, but we can get these 3 done right here. Let's get these done. Isn't that the better way to do it than to just sit there and be hard line?
Absolutely not. That's the disconnect because you have 5 things on the table. Do you have to get them done right now? The American public has obviously said, hold on, wait a minute. We don't want this to be happening. So instead of trying to find a way to get things done, perhaps we get back to the way it's supposed to be and have that debate amongst the public and then make those decisions. Let's wait until the new Congress comes in, have those debates again, and then do what the public wants to do, not what the parties want to do. All
right, so it's more or less then the thinking here from the Tea Party is let the American people tell us exactly where we need to go and then let us follow that as a mandate, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, then, if you would then take this, I only got about a minute left here, but with the Tea Party now, there's still many people who always take at the Tea Party, and you know this happens from the left, misogynists, racists, bigots. It comes up all the time. How are you going to fight that going forward to 2016?
Well, ignorance is everywhere, but the good news is we have such a strong movement now that very quickly, if anything horrible happens, we'll be able to go out there and denounce that. I mean, they've been trying to do that to the Tea Party for years. For the most part, these are just average Americans who want to protect their families and protect their country. That's it. And we're just going to have to be out there in front on that issue.
10 seconds. You're going to run for office anytime soon?
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll think about it in another year.
Okay, that's a nice way. Go ahead and put it off for a year, but we'll be back in a year and we'll ask you again. Katrina Pierson,
Yes,
it is a pleasure to have you on the show. I thank you so much for your comments, and please, to you and your family, have a great holiday.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Short break, and we're back with the most misunderstood issue in the Michael Brown shooting case. And at 43 minutes after the hour, we seek to set the world right and bury all this Black Friday balderdash. If you're watching us from a parking lot someplace in a pop-up tent, please let us see if we can save your life. It's all coming up right here on MidPoint, where we question everything.